they are the some performance related transaction codes. So with this transaction codes, using this transaction code, we can we can evaluate the performance issues, performance errors in the SAP systems. The one is called so first one is the ST01, it's a tracing only, ST01, ST05. So ST01 is like a system trace. In your system, in SAP system, sometimes people will complaints like system having some performance issues. So some performance issues are some people they will tell like some authorization issues, some other different kind of HTTP issues, RFC issues. So some kind of errors they will inform you. Then in this case, we can enable the tracing. Tracing we can enable it, then we can ask user to reproduce the issue. We can ask user to reproduce the issue here. So we have enabled the tracing now. Now trace is switched on. So now it will collect the all the system informations and everything here. Now the people are trying to do something. Suppose like they are trying to open something. There is some performance issue in the system which is causing the some impact in the operations. So that when you check the SM21, ST22 logs, dumps, you are unable to find out. Then in this case, you need to collect the more logs. So based upon the logs, so you will observe like you can just select the trace off, then do the analysis here. Do the analysis here. So that we can find out if anything is recorded, then you will find out the some logs. So you will find out the some logs like the particular error is happened, the particular issue is happened. So you will you will get the some kind of information here. So currently we don't have any logs recorded, which means no errors, nothing is reported. That's the reason. So no logs. If anything is reported, you will get the error messages. So based on that, we can find out in which transaction, in which table, where the delay is happening. So all the information we will come to know. All the information will we will get it out in the from the systems here. Let me remove the times and so just check the data. Yes, I think minutes back, I think there is so I think there is a repo load. There is a repo load, and where is the highest duration? What is the trace? SQL trace in HL trace, which program it is causing the high duration, high latency, which table? So we can find out from some details from here. We can find out from the logs some details. This is not the errors. So some are the errors. You can see some traces are errors here, which means here we need to check the what happened in the systems here. So what is the so some suppose like if you see the look up the conversion of the tables here. So no duration at the start of the action. There is a work process ID, work process, and at what times 11th to, and also the client and what is the user and what is the transaction ID. So you can get the some useful information here. So if you find something, then
చిన్నాయన రెసిడెన్షియల్ లోనే ఉంటున్నాడు. పెద్దాయన డే స్కాలరే. అయితే అత్తయ్య వచ్చి ఉన్నారు.
so we can get the some information here. Suppose like not allowed, something unknown host, client destination. So there are the some errors, some useful errors are there. Maybe if you are able to investigate it, that is fine. So to find out the some conclusion. Otherwise, we can just export the logs, save it in the files. If you inform to the SAP will investigate it and will provide the some recommendations from SAP side here. So it kind of a tracing to find out the errors, issues, troubleshooting, where the buffers are getting delay, where it is taking time. So some kind of information it will provide us to investigate the issues here. ST01 tracing here. ST01 is the transaction code here. So just kind of a tracing here. So based upon the user, we have to enter the username and we can trace it here. We can do the tracing. Maybe system trace, authorization, kernels, DB access, buffers, RFC, HTTP calls. So kind of tracing, we can enable it, we can close it, and we can perform the So analysis on the tracing part here, ST01 transaction code. So then the next one is like a ST02 tune summary. ST02 is like a tune summary here. So this is also one of the important transaction code for the system performance issues. So tune summary, which means here we can check the buffers, list of buffers in the system, and the buffers hit ratio, and buffers free space and utilizations, and the SAP memory areas we can find out it in the ST02 here. So if you see here in ST02, here we can see the what are the buffers are we have. Program buffer, CUA, screen buffer, calendar buffer, tables, export, import buffers we have. So what does it buffers means here? Buffers are like a temporary storage areas, temporary storage containers. It contains the frequently accessed data. The buffers contains the frequently accessed data. So in case of the buffers are full, frequently accessed data. In case of the buffers are full, then you will get the swaps. Swaps means when you will get the swaps means if the buffers are running out of the free space, less space, then you will get the swaps here. You will get the swaps here. Here you can see the what is the hit ratio and allocated size, how much is allocated, what is the free and what is the free percentage, then what is the so remaining details swaps and DB access here. So what is this mean by hit ratio? Where the buffers will sit? Buffers will sit in the application side here. If you see the SAP presentation layer, then SAP layer, presentation layer, and SAP layer and DB layer here. So in the presentation layer, application layer, and DB layer. In the presentation layer, so we have the means application layer, we have the buffers concept. There is a buffers are available. Inside of the buffers, inside of the we have the number of buffers like foreground buffer, CUI buffer, calendar buffer, and foreground export import. So there are the many type of buffers are there here. So what will happen here whenever you hit a transaction code, the data first it will go and check in the buffers. First it will check in the buffers. So if the why because the frequently the accessed data will store in the buffers. So first it will check in the buffer. Yes, the data exists, whatever you are looking, the data exists, then it will give the response back to the users, right? So in case of the data not exist here, then it will go to the database level. Then why? Because from request here to here it has to travel. Then here you need to pull the data. Request has to pull the data here. Then while coming the response here, one copy of data will store into the here and same will be displayed to the users here. So again, there is another user is trying to access the similar data here. Then, so similar data, then the request already in the buffer, then it will pick up that request, then immediately it will give the response back to the users, which means the data exists, it will go and hit the buffer, then it will pull it from here, then it will give the response. So we are reducing the timelines. If not exist, then it will go to the database level, pull the data from the database level, from here to here some duration, from here to here some duration, picking the request from here to here some duration, then it will take some time to load the data, then it will give response back to the user, then some other after some time again one more person if try to access the same data, then it will be very fast because of the frequently accessed data will be stored into the buffers. So that is the main thing here. So what is mean by hit ratio means hit ratio here out of 100 requests, how many requests are getting hitting the buffer? and how many are going to the database level here. So here you can see 97% requests are hitting the buffer, 99, 99 fine, 25% it's very less, 99 very. So always the good hit ratio 95 plus. Always the buffer hit ratio should be 95, and it's better means it's like a 99% it is there. It's an excellent performance. You have the excellent system performance in the systems because of all the requests are pulling from the buffers. All the requests are pulling from the buffer. So it is very high response. The system is behaving very well. There is no slowness. So normally, whenever the system restarts happens, you will get the some slowness. You will get the some slowness. Why? Because so buffer has to be filled with the data, and it will take some time after the system restarted. In that system is daily usable by others, and there is no restart happened means it will be very fast. Suppose example, let me try to uh, see the one transaction code here. Suppose like VL02. See how much time it is taking. See here VL02 is compiling. See here, it's checking in the buffers in the backend. There is no data. It went to the backend system, backend ANA database, DB level. It is pulling the data. Then, so it is executing. Then it will give the results to the display. So normally sales related transaction codes will take some longer time. Why? Because so sales, right? It's a very huge, big transaction codes actually. So definitely it will take time, but this much of time should not take. So, but first time we are accessing the sales transaction code in this MCD system. So that's why it's taking the some time. See how much time it is taking. Still, there is no response, right? Still it is loading. Still it is loading. So then we can observe it, how much time it is taking here.
Sir, what is a good practice for the daily bond? I mean, restart the PC or not?
No, 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 no. So if you restart the system daily, then definitely see, your PC you can restart it. That's not a problem. Server should not restart it daily, right? Your laptop or your desktop, whatever you are connecting presentation, you can restart it. That is the fine. But server should not restart daily. Daily, if you restart it, then what is the use of the server concept? See here, yeah. If you see here, it took the response time is the 82,000 milliseconds. 82,000 milliseconds here to get the response. It took the 82,000 milliseconds here. Okay. So now we got the data. Fine. Now again, let me try to access the same transaction code. Why? Because now it will pull the data from the system. See how fast you got, how soon, how fast you got the response from the system. Because 219 milliseconds. Because of the data, first time when the request comes, it will check in the buffers. Okay, the buffers, there is no data. Already there is no data. No one used this transaction code. That's why there is no data. Then what it went? It went to the DB level. It checked all the tables, data, programs, and everything. It will pull the data. Then again it went back to the here. It pasted the one a copy of the data. Then it will display the user to user. So this duration got some time. But when the another user trying to get the same date, same transaction, but data already exists here. Why? Because the previous run. So then immediately the user got the response time here. Immediately user got response time here. So this type of things will improve the buffer responses, the buffer response times, then buffer response times and hit ratio will get improved. So the first time, so obviously general behavior, first time when you access the any transaction in SAP first time, definitely it will take some time. Definitely it will take some time. But when you access the next time, second time, it will be very fast. Why sir means, so because of the already the data already filled, the frequently accessed data filled with the buffers. So that's the reason it is immediately it will pull from the buffers. So now let me show you one more transaction, my go. one of the material management related, goods movement related transaction code. Why? Because these are the very long running transaction codes. So MyGo, sales related VL08, PA30, PA, these are functional transaction codes. Okay, this will take very longer hours actually. So not hours, sometimes longer time here. So first time we are accessing. Why? Because functional team we don't have. So that's why first time we are accessing. It's taking some time, right? So let's see how much time this will take and how this will be improved. The performance will be improved here. Sometimes what they will do, the functional people, they will add development people for this standard one. They will add the custom program. They will add it. For standard program, they will add the custom includes custom structures, they will add it. So that standard to custom, the compilation of the programs and getting the output and results, understanding the results and logic, it will take some duration. So that time also it will take some time. That will all that time also the transaction code execution will take some time. So in that case, maybe you can collect the traces, then maybe if you involve your development team, whether this standard programs has any custom includes or custom structures, anything is causing, anything is looping. Sometimes what happens, so one program, within the program there are the many lines, then there are the many lines and 92,000 milliseconds. So within the program, there are the many loops. Within the loop, there are the no filter condition, something like that. Definitely, it will take some time. So this is a goods receipt purchase order, something like that, right? So then in this case, what I will do, again, I will execute it, the transaction code. Then so it will, you got the immediate response here. You got the immediate response in the 969 milliseconds. So the performance got improved for this VL02 from now onwards, and also the it is improved for the MyGo transaction codes and everything here, because of we already used this transaction code earlier. The buffers, the frequently accessed data will be stored into the buffer. See, it is going to the maybe 20 to 40,000. I think previously it's in 20 plus, now it went to the 40. The buffers are coming to the red means, so there is a, so swaps, more swaps are coming here because of, so while when the swaps will come means, mainly we need to look at out the this column here, swaps column. When the swaps will come means when the buffers are running out of the free space, that time the overflow will happen. Suppose there is a bucket, in the bucket you are pouring the water, water up to there is a 10 liters bucket, 10 liter quantity is done. When the 10.1 liter you are inserting inside of the bucket, then definitely the some water will be overflow, right? It will, some water will be overflow will happen. Similarly, overflow happen based upon the swaps here, based upon the swaps are coming means the buffers are running out of the free space, out of the free space here, out of the free space, the buffers are running out of the free space. So definitely, so we it's coming. Why? Because per day up to 10,000 buffers are allowed as per SAP recommendations. 10,000 fine. So how can I find out, sorry, the 40,000 is coming means 40,000 not only today, it's maybe previous days as well. Then how can I check means if I go to the detailed analysis menu, so what is the buffer? It's a catalog buffer. Then you can check it out so you can check the history. You can check the history of the buffer. So 9th 0 and 10th 22,000. Then today 40 plus, right? The 40 plus, I think. Yes. So which means tomorrow it will update it. The data, today's data, tomorrow will be updated end of the day. So which means 40 plus. So the history column is showing maybe to yesterday to today every day, then 20 changes. The average, so 11,000 change, 11,000 objects are overflowing. Means data getting overflow here. So then in this case, we may have to consider, maybe you can check what is there inside of these buffers. We can check it out, what is there inside of these buffers. So if you go to the buffered object, what data is there inside of this buffer, this catalog buffer, what are the objects are there, what is the data is there. Standard data, no one touch. If any custom data is there with the name of Z star, Z, so definitely, so we can remove it. We means you no need to take any action. You need to work with your development team. They are the persons to decide whether this program is in useful or not in useful. Then they will remove from the buffer their duty. But so we need to investigate it here. The main thing is we have to investigate it. If possible, there is no removal not required, then what we have to do, we can do the uplift the buffers here. So here number of entries, number of size, this is the one. So then this is the parameter to uplift the buffers, means increase the bucket quantity. Then go to the RG10, then go to the RG10 regarding this parameter. So we can do the changes here. RG10, we can just increase the parameter of this one automatically. So then the buffer size will be increased. Then there is no overflow. Bucket quantity is increased, then there is no overflow, right? So that's the thing here. That is the thing here. So like that, we need to investigate and we need to take the actions here, right? So mainly the buffers hit ratio and the swaps. Swaps are the main things here. Swaps should not, if the swaps are coming in the daily basis, fine. Every day 10,000 swaps are fine. So if the more than that it is coming, then we have to investigate it here. So this is like a, okay, 0, 12, average 6. Okay, that's fine actually. This is not required any action here. So only this one we have to take the action, which means we have to increase the buffered the size of the allocated KB. We have to increase it so that, so if we have the more space, more data will sit. There is no overflow. So in that case, so we don't face any issues in the systems. This way we can check the buffers, and we have the memory areas as well, SAP memory areas. So here memory areas, there is separate concept, but you can see here. So memory, they are the memory areas for SAP. So role memory, extended memory, heap memory here, right? Role is by default assigned to the all the work process here. So if work process does not have enough memory in the role, then it will go to the extended memory. If the extended memory also not enough, then it will go to the heap memory. Heap memory means it's a operating system level memory. Then when the work processor started using the operating system level memory, then so your system will be go to the private mode. Then system anytime will go down status here. That is the main thing here. So work process should not go to the heap memory. When the work process are going into the heap memory, immediately you can see in the SM50, all the work process are in the private mode. Instead of running, it will go to the private mode, hold private mode, private memory. In private means definitely system is out of the range, out of the memory boundaries here. So it's using. So something like we need to check which user is running, which program is running, then immediately we need to log off that user, you need to cancel that session, or we need to restart the system. The only these things we have to perform it here. Okay. So there is a relation for each and everything here. So main thing is like, so in ST02, we can see the buffers hit ratio, utilization of the buffers and swaps. Third one, and memory areas. What is the current? What is the maximum? What is the in memory? What is the percentage of the memory areas? These and all the things we can see it in the, and the statements, whatever you are doing in the application level, each and everything will execute as a one statement, insert or select or update or delete statements in the, so in the database level. So what that statements are doing, which statements are more, it is doing only selection. Insertion is very less, updates are very less. So then deletion is very less. So like that we can see the statements, the memory areas, what is the current usage. So this one, the extended global memory is coming to the 93%. Okay, below 90, below 95, it's good. Okay, if above 95, then we have to so take the actions. We need to check what's happening in the buffer. Maybe if required, we need to increase the buffer sizes also. So to improve the performance and everything, we need to evaluate the performance parameters and everything as well, right? So ST ST02 is for tune summary, buffers, and everything. We can see it there. Okay. Then ST03, it's like a workload analysis, ST03 or ST03n. So new. So it's a workload analysis here, ST03, ST03n. So it's a ST03 workload analysis. Here we can check the performance of your SAP system, right? So last 10 minutes back, how was your system behavior? Last minutes, last hour, last thing. So suppose last 5 minutes back, last 2 hours back, what is the system response here? Right? Today, yesterday, then last month, then so last hours. So how was the system response time? All the information we can check it out here. All the information we can check in the ST03 transaction code here. So you can just expand it. You can see the here today you can see what happened in the system. So here we can see the response times. Response time, how fast system is responding here, right? How many steps are executed here? Mainly we need to check the dialogue response time, average response time. We need to check it out here. Dialogue average response time, how fast? Why? Because dialogue work process is the process to process the all the user requests, starting of the logging to the user and ending of the session. Dialogue work process will stick with the user. So what is the average response time of the dialogue work process, how much it is? So actually it should not be more than 2 minutes, 3 minutes. That is also depends upon your organization. Your organizations will keep the thresholds. So if the response time more than 4 minutes and 2 minutes, actually it's 2 minutes. The average response time should not be more than 2 minutes. If the more than 2 minutes, then definitely there is a performance issue in your system. Then we need to look at the what causing the issue. So in where it is in the CPU time, very less, DB time less, wait time, roll time. So load generation, it's very less only. It's less only. That's fine. But because heavily is not using this system. So here we can find out, suppose in case of high response times, then we can find out the transactions, in which transactions are causing the issue. So you can check the high response times here. You can filter it out in the descending order. What is the high response time here? There is an internal program. There is a background job. There is a background job. So this is a background job which caused the issue. This is a program here. So who executed this program? This program is executed by the two users. One is the basis user, second one is the BGRFC super user here. So basis user executed this program. This is user average response time executed this program here. So this is the list of transactions are executed in the period of yesterday to yesterday, right? In our last 24 hours, yesterday's data, we got this got executed here. Then you can check the time profile, which time 6 to 7 is a very high response time. 6 to 7, what has been executed? This is what executed in the 6 to 7 here. In the 6 to 7, this has been executed. In the 6 to 7th hour, this has been executed in the system here. So then who executed? We got the username and everything. So maybe this internal program, it's taking some time. So consider here. Suppose if you check in the other systems, we have heavily using by the NW1 and the other things, right? Let's check in the NW1 what is using more. Why? Because most of you guys are using the NW1 and ECD systems. Let's go to here. Let's go to the ST03n. Here you can go to the detailed analysis, last minute load, and we can check the fresh load. Otherwise, we can go to the daily, weekly, and monthly. You can find out the information here, right? So let's see the monthly. So this month, last month, we'll see 01/2025. So what is the average dialogue response time? Fine. So there are no major hiccups. That's fine. Average response time 221 milliseconds. 221 milliseconds. Then into minutes, if you convert it, so it's less only, right? It's not more than 3 minutes, 2 minutes. So it's very less only, I think, right? So milliseconds, seconds, then into minutes. So it's very less. That's fine. So then, so let me find out what dialog response time. Then go to the transaction profile. You can check the standard. Let's see what is the main response time here. Just to filter it out. Top 10, top 5. Okay, there is a one background job. There is a client copy. There is a client copy also caused the very high response time. What is the client copy here? So client copy, background job, some other ACKD system, remote client copy executed by the basis user. This is the much response time which caused the issue. Much response time which caused the issue here. Right? That is the main thing here. Then this is the internal program. This is the client copy. See, all are the client copies. All are the client copies. Client copies. So each and everything client copy you are doing means you assume like it will not be tracked anyway, the response time and everything, but system will track it internally in the ST03, the workload analysis, how much time it caused the issue. So what is causing the issue? Who is using the transactions? So if you go to the time profile, you will get the, so each and every hour, what is the minutes here? You can see the response time minutes here, the response times here, just filter from the descending order. So this is the one. 13th to 14th hour, somewhat some high response. 13th to 14th hour means 1 to 2. Then 4 to 5, very less only. 14 to 15, 2 to 3. Then average, always we need to look at the average response times only. So somewhat here is okay. Okay. So here hourly wise also we can check which hour we have the very high response. So like that normally in the business hours we will get the high responses. Business hours we have the very high responses and everything here. So that's the main thing here, right? So then high response times and everything in the business hours. So
Sir, I have a question. If it is this one having a high average time, so how to overcome, and we have to inform to the concerned persons
yes,
to check the like
yes,
programs and all.
yes, right. We need to investigate it in case of its standards related things. In case of it's not standard, one user, one custom program, then we have to inform to the respective teams. You need to inform it. So because of your program, the response time is very bad. So it is impacting the other users as well. So please take care of this program or please check this transaction code. Please check what you are doing. Like that, we have to inform.
So what is the best time, like response times are average 2 minutes or 3 minutes?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
minutes.
That is also depends upon the company. Okay, if I tell 2 minutes now, you will stick with the 2 minutes only. So that's why I'm telling it depends upon the company also. Some customers they will prefer like 4 minutes also, the best response time. 2 minutes is the maybe that is the recommended one, I think. 2 minutes. If the more than 2 minutes, the average response time more than 2 minutes for the dialogue, then so there is a performance issue in your system. Performance issue means system it's not performing very good, so maybe it's taking some time to load everything and everything. So then we have to investigate it, what causing the issue and everything.
Okay. And for the background job, if it is a high load, so for that one, what is a good response time?
Background jobs, there is background jobs will not create any problem. It will run in the back end without any infection. But the background job also running from longer time, maybe more
Like,
than 4 hours, more than 8 hours, then definitely there is a performance issue in the system also. So that we have to cancel or we have to take care of that part. Only here we have to calculate only dialogue response time, average dialogue response time. What is that? That is only one thing. If the background job is running from longer from 1 hour, definitely it will impact the system performance. So more than 2 hours, it will impact the system performance. So we need to check what is causing here, which job is causing the impact. So we need to cancel or we need to take the actions.
okay. Thank you.
So daily, so weekly, so maybe we can find out. So daily, weekly, monthly. So you want to suppose like sometimes you may be asked to, so every day, daily 10 o'clock. system is going to freeze. Then after that, it's coming back after 1 hour, after 10 minutes. Then your manager asked you to find out. Then we can check the, so daily, okay, daily, okay. So daily, we can go to the transaction code 10 o'clock, right? We can check the daily transaction limits here. What transactions are executing in the 9 to 10th hour in this each transactions time? What is the highest contributors here? So this is the one. This is the reorg temp file, spool related job. This is the table consistency related jobs, which are causing the high response. Why this job is causing the high response? Oh, this job is running on what is the program, what is the variant? Is this program? What is the, so what is in the program? It is configured. What is the variant? Is there any changes are happened in this program in the recent transport request? And sometimes what happens, everything is running fine. Yesterday, day before yesterday, I've last 1 month onwards running fine. But still, since yesterday onwards, the job is getting very longer time than expected. Normally, job should finish within 15 minutes, 15 minutes, but very 15 minutes. But the job is getting, yesterday onwards, taking very 1 hour, more than 1 hour it's taking. So we need to investigate why it is causing the issue. Then we need to check the, so in SM37, we need to check, are there any changes are happened recently in the changes? Why? Because every job will run in, every job will use the one program here. Every job will use the one program here. Every job will always will do the programs. So will always use the programs. It will run on the programs and everything. So you need to check, so you need to check the what is the, let me find out here. Suppose this job is creating the problem. It's executed by every day, but there is a suddenly it is executing from longer time here. So this job is running. Definitely, job means job will run on the one of the program. So if you go to the job step, it is running on the program, job program here. So we need to check the what is this program. So if you go to the program means, if you go to the program related the program source code, so some programs there is a what is the code it is maintained. Maybe so you will not get that experience here to evaluate it, debugging the code. Maybe based upon the you experience, you will get understanding. Then the basically maybe sometimes what happened, there is some changes happened in the program code which is causing the in job is running from longer time. Then we need to check so what is running and everything. We have to check it out that part. So like that, we have to start the investigating the things and everything here. Okay. So
Sir,
that
sir, is it possible that daily, like you said just now, yesterday the program was working fine, and today the work taking a longer time, and we have to check the program, right? Like you said.
yeah, program or variant, all the areas we need to investigate it up to. So all the areas at DB level, we have the enough space. Why? Because the job is doing some insertion, job is doing some updates in the table level. So then what is the table size currently? Up to fine, but yesterday there are the more records, more transactions happen. Definitely, it will take some time. Then we need to check the, so we need to check the what is the table, what are the what is the table, how many records are there in the table, is that index is there or not. We need to check all the things here, so that then finally we have to conclude like, okay, because of the table records are very huge, that's why it's taking some time, right? So just inserting the small quantity of data into the small table, it's very fast, but the big table it takes some time to insert. Why? Because the more records are there, it will take some time to insert the records, right? So that is the differences. Yeah, the big tub is there, small bucket, small tub is there. Big tub pulling something from big tub, it's a time taking process. But small tub, so small, you can easily you can pull the some object from the some coin from the small quantity of the small tub, right? Big tub it will take some time. Same as like here, the table as a tub or table as a container. So pulling the data, insertion the records into the tables, so it's a challenging task here. So this duration we have to calculate it here. So maybe based upon the experience, you will get this kind of all the troubleshooting experiences. Then where we have to check it out, all the areas. It's not just limited to the only sir program I have checked it. Then there is no changes that happened. So then we don't have any issues. Not like that. So we need to check the all the areas. Like database level, we need to check. OS level, we have to check. Space, memory, CPUs utilizations, all the areas. If you check it out, somewhere we will get the some clues. So then based on that, we can conclude that this is causing the very highest responses and everything. So,
Sometimes RFC take
right.
longer time. So in that case,
What RFC?
there is in the dialog, in the workload analysis, there is one tape for RFC, right?
Yeah, RFC taking the response time in, we need to check the what RFC, what is the in the RFC, which connections, and so where it is pulling. Maybe if you go to the some other detailed way, the memory in use statistics for the each and every programmed reports, RFC profiles, what is the client profiles. So what are the where it is the RFC profiles are using here, and what is the duration, backend session cancelled. Okay, where it is using, so you can get the some response times. Okay, this is the RFC functional model taking the time. So then we can find out what is the transaction, some kind of information we will get from here. Which destination is it, internal call or external destinations, internal which user. So we can find out something here. Server, RFC server profile. Server means what is using here. RFC client destination profiles, client. So then server destinations profiles. So if you go a little bit more, we will get the more what is the user statistics, which user profiles here more. Then what is the settlement statistics here. So content client, what is the response time? So front end statistics from SAP GUI to then your SAP system, what is the response times, input output, the response time distributions. So then load from the external systems. What is the load from the external systems here? So tiles, user, defense. So they are the load from the external. These all are the externals outside. Come loading from what internal. So this is the internal response time. DB connection statistics here. So job logs, BTC job log, and front end. You will get some information using this one. What is the Fury app? This is the application is taking the time. Okay. So we can find out, but system, we can find out somewhere some errors, dumps, locks. Based on that, we can investigate the troubleshoot the issues further. So this load is very important. ST03 load. Sometimes load will not be displayed here. Statistics will not be displayed because of the, so there is a job which is responsible to collect the load here. That is called the, so performance job here. Performance job, which is responsible for, so load the data here. So there is a SAP CCMS collector, CCMS collector performance job. Remember this job name, very, very important. Still not executed. Maybe let's try with the yesterday's date. Why this job is not running? SM36. Let's go to standard jobs. This is the one. This is the job which is responsible for, so collections. It's a very important job. So sometimes we may get the cross question like, when you go to the ST0, when you go to the ST03, there is no load. ST02, there is no load. There is no information is displaying. So then can you investigate? Yes. So this job is successfully running this every 1 hour, hourly this will run, which means definitely your statistics will be updated in the ST02. The statistics will be updated. Then, and also the ST03, the statistics will be updated here as well. So make sure this job should be running status here. Okay. That is a very, very important job. SAP collector performance. So this kind of questions you may get. SAP collector for performance monitor. So this job is responsible for collecting the information and providing to the statistics reports, the report applications and everything. So important. The standard jobs are will do the standard housekeeping things and everything. Okay. Then ST04 that I will tell you tomorrow. Why? Because ST04 DB related transaction codes are different. It will take longer time, so that I will explain tomorrow. Okay, guys, any questions, anyone regarding these transaction codes?
No question, sir.
Okay, yeah. Thanks, everyone. So we'll talk